Hey everyone, today's video we're checking out Barton Hills, and more specifically this listing at 1.19 million. We're going to talk about the numbers, does it make sense in the current market, what does it look like in the current market for the subdivision, and then just the features of where we are in Austin, features of this house particular, and maybe some of the features it doesn't offer, right? We're going to look at all of that right now. Hey, Daniel here, local Austin area real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the greater Austin area, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, as a teacher before I jumped into real estate, I was actually a band director for 10 years. And I found that a lot of the skills and values that drew me to education and that I honed as an educator have transferred over really well into real estate. Honesty, hard work, effective communication, and really just caring about people and their goals is still really important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find a great home and a great deal in the greater Austin area. So today we're in Barton Hills. For those of you unfamiliar with Barton Hills, this is east of Mopac and west of Lamar, South Lamar. We're just south of the river, or the lake as we call it, Lady Bird Lake. Some things about Barton Hills. So the tax rate here is 1.98%. There is no HOA. And as far as proximity to certain things in Austin, we are literally walking minutes away from Umlau Sculpture Garden, Barton Springs Pool, which stays a nice 68 degrees throughout the entire year. It's great in the summer. Very, very, very cold in the winter, but you know, if that's what you're into. Obviously, we're very close to Zilker Park. And so from the listing we're looking at today is going to be very easy walking distance to a bunch of hiking, biking trails, as well as the Barton Creek Greenbelt, so you can walk over there for a little dip. And then we are close to South Lamar, tons of great restaurants in South Lamar like Odd Duck, Loro, and then there's an Alamo Draft House that I frequent frequently. Now I'm gonna put on the screen here, as my editor puts on the screen. This is honestly something I would generally share with someone who's trying to sell their house, but I'm gonna put on screen so you can get a sense of what the market looks like in Barton Hills as a buyer. So we're seeing, as of recording, average days on market in here is 116 days, pretty high. You would expect that for a higher price point that is going to be a little bit longer. And the average close price in this neighborhood is 1.875 million. So we are well under the average for this current listing we're checking out today. The odds of selling this neighborhood are under 50%. Doesn't surprise me in the current market. There are definitely more sellers than buyers. And interesting buying pattern. For whatever reason, the past 12 months, we're seeing the vast majority of homes closed in December. Typically June, July, May, that's when you see most of them in most subdivisions. So I found that interesting, definitely worth knowing. If you're a seller, try to sell in December. If you're a buyer, try to buy in the summer, because apparently no one else is looking then. Looking at the next page, this is just kind of giving you a fair market value using the systems that I have. And so you can basically look at the square footage, draw a vertical line up, and as soon as you hit that red line, you'll get a rough estimate. Now with this, you know, be a little bit careful because obviously it doesn't take into account, you know, certain features. Does it have an incredible view? Is it on a massive lot? Does it have a pool, right? Those are things are going to increase the value of a home without affecting its square footage. So something to keep in mind, but this gives you a rough ballpark estimate. And it kind of shows pretty well with today. So today we're looking at a 2,000 square foot home, and looking at this graph, that puts it around 1.2 million. So the graph is holding true, at least for this listing. And finally, the last few statistics I want to share with y'all before we tour this home are recently closed sales in Barton Hills. So I'm gonna look at my notes here. I'll ask my editor to put up on the screen. So 7 closed homes in the past 6 months. We are looking at an average of 692.14 for the price per square foot for closed, and the average price per closing is 2.1 million. The average days on market is 40 days. And as far as the median sale versus list percentage, it's 96.9%. What that means is we're 3.1% under list. So really important to know, you're putting an offer in, look at the average or median sale to list percentage for that neighborhood, and then just match that. Go, hey, the average here is 3.1% under, so calculate whatever 3.1% is underneath that list price, and that's definitely a fair market value offer. All right, let's check out this house. All right, we'll try to get out of the wind. That's why I was doing all the intro stuff inside, so apologies if it's a little windy. This is, as I said earlier, listed at $1.19 million. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-story home, 2,019 square feet on 0.276 acres, I believe, about a quarter acre. It puts the price per square foot around $589, which, if you remember what I just said earlier, the average for close in Barton Hills is $692. So we're just under $100 per square foot lower than the average. Now, I can guess why. There's not a lot of features with this house. Sorry, the wind's picking up real quick, so I'll walk and talk as I see it, I'll bring it up. First thing you'll notice, we don't have a covered garage, right? So I had to park my car right here. We'll walk up there, but there's really not much up there. Pan around so you can see we're actually at the top of a cul-de-sac. And it looks like we have a new home being built right here, so lots of construction noise right now, but no through traffic, which is great. Lots of trees around here. So the stairs are brand new, which is good to know. It's also good to know I counted them. There's 24, so you have to walk up and down 24 stairs to get to your 1-story house, which is not ideal. We do have this curving driveway up here, so it's definitely wide enough you can park cars. It's pretty steep, so if whenever we do have ice, the 4 days of the year that we have ice, this will be unusable. And over here to the left, we actually have a chicken coop. And then there's a fence. Hopefully you can kind of see it back there. That's the edge of the property. And then this is the back. So we don't really get a backyard with this layout. Like I said, you don't get a covered garage. So definitely a couple features missing right there. This is a very old AC unit also, so that would definitely be something to negotiate with the deal. Not a deal breaker. Also, I didn't show y'all, but the little space invaders. I thought it was cool as I was parking on the entrance. All right, trying to get out of the wind quickly, y'all. Apologize if this is unlistenable. Here we have kind of a work shed. So you do have some storage space, which is good. If I had a 1-car garage, I wouldn't park my car in it. I would use it for storage. So you do have some space for storage / studio, however you'd want to use it. And then this would kind of count as your front patio space. You see we have some tile here. Even just standing here, it's really private. This house doesn't really have a front patio. This one has one kind of hidden behind those trees, so it is pretty private. It's a little loud right now because they're building, but pretty quiet out here otherwise. Every now and then you'll hear a loud car in the distance, so nearby highway. Otherwise, the trees soak up a lot of the sound. Okay, so other feature, obviously, is stairs. It's not, I should say, opposite feature, a problem. Having to walk up and down 24 stairs a day is not ideal for anyone at any age. So I'm not sure what the solution would be for that. Maybe you want to get creative and put an elevator in that studio, I don't know. But that's definitely something that stood out to me that is probably one of the reasons this is still on market. All right, let's check out the inside. Beautiful stone on the outside here. Front door, not an 8-foot tall door. I'm used to seeing that. So the front door is not very wide or tall. I mean, it's pretty. It doesn't fit very well. And what I mean by that is there is a lot of daylight. You can even see it here. There's a lot of light coming through the sides. So they need to fix that. It's going to affect your energy bill. I can hear a lot out there too, so it affects the sound. Coat closet on the side here. This house was built in 1978. Obviously they've done a lot of remodeling. And the layout, I think, works pretty well. So we have our formal dining area here. They have a new red oak put down flooring. So this is new. And then you have a flex space over here. I would probably use this as a home office. Lots of natural light coming in, it's great. You can get a decent view. This is really the only room that gives you a view. So you definitely want to utilize these windows as best you can. A little bit of storage back here. Then we walk into our utility room. Again, natural light coming in. No shelf, which I was surprised about. It's an easy thing to add. And then this little bitty pantry. Very small pantry. That looks like the original 1978 pantry. And then this leads back to that dining room we just came from. Kitchen definitely has been remodeled. That being said, there's certain things with this kitchen that I was surprised about. So I really like that we have the large single basin sink, right? We're looking out, natural light, we have that fence, so we're not just looking at our neighbor. It's still our property here. But when I opened these, I was like, oh, are these soft close? Look how grimy that is. I mean, that is really nasty. These are custom cabinets, but I don't know what year they were put in. The railings, they just need to be replaced because they don't close very smoothly at this point. They're just so rusted up. And I don't think I'm a big fan of the open spaces. I think like this is fine. You can put some stuff here and make it look a little interesting, but there's just too many open spaces. And with how small the kitchen is, I mean, there's not a single large open cabinet, right? It's just all open. So I don't really want my bowls and plates out. But again, small thing, it just kind of caught my eye. Here we have the kitchen area. They did a good job with adding quite a lot of windows. So we do get a lot of natural light in here. And then this opens up to the living area. Living area does have a wood burning fireplace. And we have the steeple ceiling. And you do have a exit there. There's another door by the primary we're gonna walk out of. Updated thermostat with the Nest. And then here's our guest bathroom. Guest bathroom's really nice. I like what they did with the tile selection. I like the black grout in between. That looks really neat and clean. It goes well with the shower and the faucet. I really like this too. I wish this was in the kitchen. This looks very modern, soft close. The wood looks beautiful. I want that in the kitchen. Really good amount of space in here. Yeah, they did a good job with that room. Every bedroom does have a ceiling fan. Again, decent view out here. Get a sense of the closet space. So like I said, this is a 3-bedroom. I like when they have this little pushed out nooks there too. It's a nice spot. This is a 3-bedroom. Here is bedroom number 2. Similar size, pretty good amount of space, honestly. You know, I actually get a little nervous when it's like 2,000 square feet, 5-bedroom. Like, oh, this bedroom's gonna be tiny. This is a good layout for the amount of space we get. With 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms is perfect. I think 4 would be pushing it. And then I pass this, but you just have a little linen closet here in the hallway. And then here, you can see no carpet throughout the entire house. It kept that red oak throughout. Here's the primary, a really good amount of space. I walked in, I was like, what happened? The stager, they're using an air mattress because, you know, 24 stairs, and it just deflated. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, we do have good amount of natural light coming in, especially with the door back there. A little bit bummed with the closet space. They do have built-ins. The built-ins don't look very pretty. It does help though, as far as the utility of the storage, but that's something you may have to give up a little bit getting into this neighborhood. If you're looking at something built in the 70s, you know, they just didn't have as many clothes as we have now. This I don't like. So it's the exact same as the guest bathroom. When they remodeled this, I wish they did something a little different for the primary, but they have the exact same built-in right here, the exact same tile and shower. Everything's the exact same. So kind of boring in my opinion. I wish that was more custom. And then we have some built-in shelves here. Natural light here, again, looking out to the back. Let's check out that back. Same thing with this door. I noticed in the other back door, I just didn't say it. They need to look at that. You know, get an inspector, they'll put it all in their report, but there's just way too much just openness in between the door frame and the door. So you can see what I'm talking about. We don't really have a back yard per se. We have a water spigot there. You have all of this, which I'm not 100% sure how far it goes. A little treacherous to walk back there. And then we have just this brick flooring all the way back here. And I'm not sure why they put a fence up here. I'm sure it's just a sheer drop, so it's more of a safety thing. But I bet that's a decent view we're missing out on, right? I'll put my camera over there. So, I don't know, I think about maybe ripping this out, maybe putting a railing there, but so I can still set up some chairs and kind of, I don't know, hang out in this spot. So, there you have it. You know, with this listing, it's for the perfect person. Really a unique person would work for this listing. Me personally, I don't know. I don't know if I would go for this. So, you know, the bad things about it, or the things that it's lacking, are certain features that are commonplace. So having at least a 2-car garage, having an enclosed garage space. You don't get that with this listing. It being a 1-story, great, you don't have to go up and down stairs, but you have to walk up 24 stairs to get to the front door. You know, that's a problem. There's certain, things they need to fix that are small that are not a big deal to me, as far as, the air coming in through the side of the door. I think the drawers in the kitchen need to be updated. Those are small things we can get negotiated before closing. I'm not too concerned about that. I think the thing that this has going for it the most is the location. You can't beat Barton Hills. And so being this close to everything, I'm an outdoorsy person. I like running. Like, I train for marathons. So the idea of, I could just run to Zilker Park, or I could just run to Barton Creek and just be on those trails. Because right now I run those places, but I drive 20 minutes to get there. So being able to just walk out your front door and have access to the heart of the city is really enticing. And that's a big reason why the average price per square foot and the average price in this section of Austin is so much higher than this specific home. So if you are the type of person who really just wants to live in this neighborhood, I think this is a really good option. But if you're spending that much money and you expect certain things, a backyard, maybe you have a dog, right? I have a golden retriever. This would be difficult for him, right? He wouldn't really have space to run. I'd have to take him on a lot of walks. You don't get a yard here, you don't get the enclosed garage space, you have to walk upstairs. Those types of things, it may not be a good fit for you, and then we can look elsewhere. But I hope you found this video helpful. Again, reach out. Doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'd really love to get to know your situation, help you find the perfect spot for you. It may not be Barton Hills, right? If you're looking in this price range and you're okay with maybe a 5-minute longer drive to work, or certain features, but we can get you 5 minutes further away, there may be a better lifestyle house, right? Because sometimes I feel like some people just look at the subdivision and go, I want to live there. But they don't think about, well, you're not living in the subdivision, you're living in a house, right? You got to think about, is this going to work for your day in, day out? This is my morning routine, this is what I do in the evenings. Does this space work for what's important to me? Or do I just want to say I live in this subdivision, right? So I enjoy having those conversations with people, helping them find clear and confidence in the decisions they're making, because it is a large sum of money that we're spending here for hopefully good investment. But yeah, I'm gonna ramble on for days, so reach out if I can help you at any time. Until next time, I hope to see you guys around town.